Hello, guys. Welcome to this little live session. And I thought about doing this very, very long time because I wanted to give you a possibility to achieve some fantastic connections, to understand the connections between health and life. And very often we understand the connections, but we're doing some of the life process in a suboptimal way, meaning that it remains a puzzle for us for a very, very long time. And that's why I chose to call this Health and Life, Composing the Puzzle Step by Step. How small habits can make a big difference. So basically the idea behind this seminar is my experience of working with people with health problems for around, or basically very, very soon, around 15 years. I started with normalizing my own health, so to say, saving myself. I had serious problems with my heart. I had serious problems with my digestion for basically since the end of 20s. So I'm 57 now, and since 29, 28, I had constant problems with constipation and diarrhea every single day of my life, until it started becoming a serious problem for my health and for my life. And I had a serious problem with heart, and I tried to wake up in the ambulance 5 times. And I decided basically to take full responsibility for my health. And my program that I made, and that you can see here, basically, I don't know if you're familiar with Sakharoff Health Integrative Protocol. That's SHIP, Sakharoff Health Integrative Protocol. That's basically a result of my own experience of reversing my own disease. And then 15 years ago, when all of those things started, basically I started reversing them 15 years ago. So I was forced to stop my my work in telecom industry, where I worked as an engineer and project manager, and I started changing my life in order to survive, basically. And that's why, again, it's called Health and Life, Composing the Puzzle. It felt as a puzzle. That was very, very hard to assemble, very hard to compose. And I used to get up every morning, and the first thought was, oh no, I have to go to work, and I have this job, and I need to do it. So basically I need to do the whole career, engineering career. I understood with time, it took me 20 years to understand that it was not my love. It was not expression of my love for life. It was some other things. And I was forced to understand that the hard way. It was basically my body was giving me some signs, and that was my digestive problems, my constipation, diarrhea, constant, and I did not get the message, basically, until I got another message from my heart, that my heart, so basically I was falling on a tennis court many times, in the woods while mountain biking and basically just jogging. There's another webinar when I'm telling my story. It's not about my story, but basically I want to say that after it, I succeeded in reversing my own disease, in normalizing my health. I started helping others, and now it's November 2023. To this time I had around 2,500 clients. One might say, okay, 15 years, 2,500 clients, that's not so much, but we are working in depth with every person. It's really deep work. Also for me, we're dancing tango together. I have 2 programs, one for intensive program for oncology, where I'm working mostly for brain tumors and mostly women with metastatic breast cancer and also blood cancers, leukemias, mostly those 3 times, but also sometimes other kinds of cancer. I'm writing scientific articles in medical journals. So before I worked as an engineer, telecommunication engineer. Now I am working as a integrative health engineer. So I'm looking at health with the eyes of an engineer and helping to connect, to understand how to connect the dots. And there's a lot of different dots, but basically to connect health and life, because I also, one of the things that I understood was that in order to change my health, I need to change my life. And the life-changing process, which is not just a figure of speech, I needed really to change my life. I needed to change my work. I needed to change the place where I live. I needed to change some things in my family. I needed to change the way I react to external stressors. I needed to work with many things. But again, it sounds like a big thing, but I started with small steps. And that because I knew about the method that is called Kaizen, I heard about that because I'm basically also a musician as my side activity. I love music, and I've been playing musical instruments for 40 plus years. 45 years actually. My progress was very, very small steps. Very small progress, but constant, because I loved it. So basically I decided to, and I heard about effortless mastery. That's a method that I used in jazz by a very well-known jazz piano player. He wrote a book, Effortless Mastery. I was very inspired by that, so I used the technique, and then I learned about Kaizen technique, which is basically you can call it a physiology of a process. That's management consultants from American management consultants. They used this method in the 40s, and they helped to rebuild Japan after Second World War. And the Japanese, they really loved the method, and they used it to build a very big and agile industry, from automotive industry to all the other industries in Japan. As you know, it's a very little country, but a very big industry, industrial country. So that's the method of very, very small steps. Okay, so that's why the steps they have to be small enough to not trigger your fear of not succeeding, basically. And the fear, when the steps feel big, you won't take them. So they have to be small. So you are certain to take the first one. So That is the most important thing. And that's what I started to use for myself to rebuild my health and my life. And I succeeded. So I started using it to my own clients. And today, I want to inspire you with this, with the first, very, very easy single step that you can take. And I was also, again, inspired. I have many places where I feel inspired. Lately, I was inspired by a guy called James Clear, and he wrote a book called Atomic Habits. And I felt immediately very inspired by this book. I did not read it. Actually, it's an old book. I think he wrote it 2 or 3 years ago. I was following him on social media. He has a lot of different very, very nice quotations, and I used to read small excerpts from his writings, also some of his longer writings, but I did not read the book Atomic Habits until lately. And all of a sudden, I felt this inspiration. I need to bring it forward to all the people that want to listen. And I really wanted to share this. So I will tell you a little bit today about this book. And later, right after that, it will take me a little half an hour. I will give you a free gift, the app where you can take this. It's my own app for our program, SHIP app it's called, Sakharoff Health Integrity Protocol app. That is multi-platform, cross-platform app. You can use it on your telephones, you can use it on your iPad, you can use it on your computer. So, and you can do some very, very nice things there, completely free. And next week I will give you more. So basically, and today I will also show you how it helped people to recover, and it's measurable, and all the measurements you can do also inside of the app. So, so basically that's a book that is called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I would like you to tell you, get the book. I'm listening to it in the Audible. I bought an audio version, so I immediately felt very, very inspired. I use Audible a lot, many years, so I prefer to read the books by listening to them. So the first thing about changing the habits, how small habits make a big difference, but why do we need to do step-by-step journey and compose and assemble the puzzle this way? Well, changing our habits is challenging, and it's challenging for 2 reasons, says James Clear. The first one is that we try to change the wrong thing. We think that we need to change the outcomes. We're thinking about basically the outcomes, about big things. And then the second thing is we try to change our habits in a wrong way. And we're going to talk about those things both today and also in the next session. So what are outcomes? Outcomes is about what you get. Outcomes is, why did I say that we try to change the wrong things? Outcomes, because we try to get to give ourselves the goals, and the goals are both challenging, and we get afraid of big goals. So that's the wrong thing, and we really want the outcomes. Outcomes is about what you get. Processes are about what you do. So processes are very very important, more important than the outcomes and the goals. And the way you build your own personal process, that's of paramount importance. Okay, so and then if we go deeper yet, so outcomes is kind of that's the most normal thing to think about. The goals, processes are much deeper and much more important. If you establish a strong, stable process, it will bring you wherever you want. But there's one thing that is yet more important, and that thing is your identity. Identity is about what you believe, and identity is also the big aspect that will inspire you always. So you will not need to use your power of will, because the truth is that we don't have power of will. Most of the people don't have power of will, and basically power of will is the fallacy to use power of will, because it's a finite resource, and it's better not to do it, because otherwise it will deplete you of energy. And so what is better? The better is to have vision. The better thing is to have a process and vision. Something you love. To change your life basically in the way that you will love. That's basically what I felt when I got stuck in my work, and I felt that my work and my life was not enjoyable, and my work was killing me. So I needed to change my life in order to change my health, and in order to get this good outcome, which is a good outcome is basically enjoying every single day. And it's easy to say enjoy every single day, be in the moment, but the truth is that it's harder. It's hard to enjoy every single day if you have put yourself in a situation when you feel obliged to do some things that you don't want to do. And that's why I felt that I understood that I need to change the environment in order to change. So I needed to change my life in order to change my health, because I felt chronic stress. I was chronically fatigued. I felt chronic stress, and I could not just. That's why doctors could not help me. I got just, I was picked up by ambulance 5 times, and they could not find the fault with my system. And they said, when come next time, we will put you, we'll make some measurements. And then I thought, okay, I'm not sure. I will not be kind of assessed by as a lifeless body. It will be too late. So I needed to change full responsibility for my health into my own hands. And what I needed to change is my life. So it's lifestyle change, and also some degree of exercise, but basically the awareness first. Okay, about those connections, because normally I'm talking about connecting the dots. You really need to connect the dots in order to understand how things are. And the current situation in the world, it also pushes us greatly. Most of you guys that are listening to me, I believe that you understand that we really need to to take responsibility into our own hands, because all the mainstream information that we've been have been pushed to us all those many years we are alive in this world. It's information about mainstream, and the money is involved. Follow the money. It's big corporations that are interested to sell products, and our life is really affected by this, very much our health. I'm not going to go into details here, but you know what I mean. So basically, we need to take full responsibility in our own hands and change our lifestyle, do the exercise, change our awareness, to change our environment, it will give us a long-term effect for our health. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about long-term effect. So we need to change our identity. We need to change what we believe about ourselves, to change the wording. So I will tell you a little bit about the book. The book starts with the presentation of a cycling team, a British cycling team that was that could not win, basically, and that then they started implementing very, very small changes, like using Kaizen principles, implementing very, very small changes that were possible for the team. And basically it was a fantastic story of transformation. And I really want you guys to listen and to read the book. Again, James Clear, Atomic Habits. I'm a big fan of James Clear, and I think you will do too. So he's talking about several things, and he's talking about this term. He termed the plateau of hidden potential. And what is the plateau of hidden potential? Human beings have a tendency to be impatient with a process that is gradual. We really want, the core reason is why forming long-term habits poses challenges. Okay? We often make minor changes, but we don't perceive significant results immediately, get discouraged. Okay? And that's the problem. That's basically why most people quit. And I can also see you fall off the wagon, we can say. And well, when you are in a group, you get, and we have different groups, and people get helped. There's a support every single day, so people get back. But if you don't have support, you fall off the wagon, you get discouraged, and you stop those changes. Okay? For example, someone might think, I've been running daily for a week. Why don't I see any changes in my body? And those thoughts are, sure, they are strong, they are negative, they can overpower your persistence. And it will make it easier to revert to bad habits. So to say, to fall off the wagon and to make the wrong conclusions, that it doesn't work. But in reality, it's not because it doesn't work. It's just because you have to be persistent. You have to change, not necessarily look at the outcome and use power of will to come with a shortcut to outcome. You need to make the process a different process. What you do every day, change your habits, very, very small steps, and compose the puzzles step by step every single day. Then you need to, the best thing to do would be to change the identity, as we talked about, right? So for habits to cause noticeable changes, they need to persist over an extended period of time. And that for that we would need the endurance, right? So basically based on understanding of what we are doing, awareness, and understanding of how to do the small steps, and having a vision, or changing the wording about yourself from negative to positive. And also to basically something that will inspire you to move every single day. We're going to talk about that more. Okay. So, and this endurance is necessary to surpass what is in the book referred to as the plateau of hidden potential. Again, the plateau of hidden potential. So, what is that? Basically, when we're struggling with maintaining a good habit or rooting out a bad one, often means we haven't yet passed this plateau. And that's where the things happen. Okay? And in the book, James Clear is comparing this to the process of melting the ice, a big ice cube. Significant changes might only be visible after he's in the room, and there's an ice cube, and the temperature is low, and the significant changes to the ice melting process only are visible after reaching a particular threshold. And this threshold in Fahrenheit is 32 degrees Fahrenheit mark for ice, and in Celsius is 0 degrees. That's where ice start melting. If you've been changing the temperature very, very long time, from very low one, slowly, warmer and warmer, nothing happens to the ice. And only when we're reaching the plateau of hidden potential, of which is for the ice is 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, then something happens. So the journey towards success is often underappreciated. By whom? By external observers. External observers, for example, people who look, for example, at the I love tennis. So for me, for example, you might look at Novak Djokovic, and people would say, okay, he's extremely talented. And he started also early, so that's why. But they typically, external observers, they don't understand the background. They typically notice significant leaps by those kind of people as Novak Djokovic, but overlook the consistent hard work leading up to it. And what is, he started as 4 years old or something like that, and he was his parents were able to establish a love for the process for him, okay? And this love to sensing the racket, to being a part of the game, led gradually to, with small steps, every single day, because he was led by love to what he was doing. And that's basically what happened from 4 to 5, from 5 to 6, and he was like already, I don't know, known as 12 years old, okay? But from 4 to 12, it's 8 years every day of work. So it's not just something that happened overnight. It was something that really, really happened gradually, by step, very, very small steps. Okay, and he was led, not necessarily. I believe that he had this kind of a goal also. He really wanted this. But basically, his parents were able to build a very, very good process that was based on love and on effortless mastery. Remember I told you about that? And he also, it was not just the outcome he wanted. He changed his identity. He knew he wanted to be, he saw at himself already as a small one, as a minor, as the best in the world. He had the vision. Okay? So that's what it is. Okay? So external observers typically notice significant leaps, but they overlook the consistent hard work leading up to it with small steps. It's like tectonic plates. You know, they have been in contact with each other for millions of years, two tectonic plates. They move and rub against each other, building up pressure over time, until one day an earthquake erupts, seemingly out of nowhere. That's because they reached the plateau of hidden potential by accumulating the rubbing and moving against each other, building up pressure over time with small daily steps, so to say. So what it is about? It's about mastery that requires patience. I call it the art of the process, because it's really an art to build a process like this. You need to be rooted every single day. You need to be aware of what you're doing. You need to raise your sensitivity to the signals that the body is giving you. Okay? Like when my body was giving me, in my story, the signals of bad work of my gastrointestinal system. My guts basically were not working. It was a signal. I have overlooked it, overheard it, and it was not. It was for like 10, 15 years until my body started more and more giving me signals of just disrupting the whole system, almost stopping the heart to beat. I mean, giving me blackouts. And then I understood the message. So basically, I was desensitized. I was desensitized by choosing external things as my leading star. You need to use internal, how would you say, internal. What is internal? It's basically love and ability to listen. Listen to your body. That's internal. External is when somebody gives you a task and a goal. That's external, and that kills people. It's called endpoint fallacy. It's another very interesting book. I will talk about. That's basically the book that inspired me most. By an fantastic Italian philosopher. And I will show you this book. It's called Key to Psychology by Stefano Sabetti. Fantastic book. He died 5 years ago. Fantastic man, Stefano Sabetti, Key to Psychology, and he's talking about endpoint fallacy. Why goals kill people? Goal-based work kill people, and why we need to use process-related, process-based journeys in order to live. Okay, so this is very, very crucial. So mastery requires patience. Smart process, we call it. Smart process. Effortless mastery. So, and very great feats often start small. Every habit begins with a single decision, the vision, that when repeated grows like a tree, spreading its roots and branches, becoming stronger and stronger. The habit, okay? It starts with the vision, with the changing of perspective. It starts with changing of identity, and then you can build a very, very strong process. So the challenge of eradicating a bad habit, it's like uprooting a sturdy oak from within oneself, which has grown very strongly inside of your system. And while establishing a good habit can be compared to nurturing a delicate flower that blooms overnight. Okay, that's a nice pictures, right? So the question, a very, very crucial question is what ensures that people stick with a habit long enough to transcend this plateau of hidden potential? What differentiates those who revert to undesirable habits from those who relish the cumulative benefits of good ones? So what is the cumulative benefits of a good habit? That's basically when you're doing the same thing again and again because you are inspired. You change your vision of your life. You understood that you need to change your life in order to enjoy it every single day. Right? And then you will experience the cumulative benefits of a good habit because you're doing it every single day. Not because you're using a power of will, but because you are inspired to do that. Not because you just putting a goal for yourself, but because you have mastered a strong process, a smart process of effortless mastery. Okay? So, and the progress is frequently expected to be linear, or at least swift. Okay? Yet the results of our effort often manifest after a delay. And there's a lag between effort and visible outcome. Okay? And it can be very discouraging, leading many into what James Clear calls in his book a valley of disappointment. Okay? But such efforts, they are not in vain, they accumulate, and eventually their value becomes apparent, and something happens. Not overnight, but because you've done these things every single day, and you reached the plateau of hidden potential, and not led yourself into a valley of disappointment. But you have to be strong in your mind and in your heart to, when you fall off the wagon, just to get up and start again. Okay? So in order to do that, you have to focus on the system over goals. And this is a common wisdom, kind of, that you need to set clear and achievable goals to improve. Like, I'm an engineer, and I've been using this as a project manager many years, and I've been in this telecommunication industry for 15 years. And that's what we needed to work. Clear and achievable goals. They call it SMART goal setting, SMART. But in order to improve life aspects like fitness, business success, mental well-being, that's the same thing. Is used normally. The common wisdom is that you have to set clear and achievable goals. I don't think so. I think it's a end point fallacy that I told about Stefano from the book Key to Psychology by Stefano Sabetti. Okay? So I think that we need to understand in order to achieve those good things, that the journey is just as critical as the destination, and it's basically most critical. Okay? So again, outcomes are always less about specific goals and more about the systems that you are using, that you have been good or not good to put in place. Okay? And again, the goals pertain or connected to desired outcomes, and the systems are about the processes leading to those outcomes. Okay? So basically, a wrap up of this first chapter in this book is that it's the importance of patience, consistency, having a system in place when aiming for long-term growth and transformation. Okay? And immediate results shouldn't always be expected, but underlying consistent efforts will lead you to sudden breakthroughs over extended periods. And that's where I want to tell you that I want to give you an opportunity. I want to present you with an opportunity to do one single, very little step every single day that will lead you to very big things. And I found out in my own experience that such a thing is improving night sleep. And when you're improving night sleep, you have to understand that basically nighttime is a time where you take all the good things that you managed to improve during one day. Like, for example, today we have November 2nd. What I did today during the whole day, I will be able to take on a new level tomorrow. So I will start. So let's say today I was working on different aspects of my life, and I came 2 millimeters up, okay, in some unimaginable scale. And then tomorrow I will just take it and start again from this level, and will be able to get it up to 2 millimeters up again. But I'm only able to do that if my sleep, which is basically a connecting point between this day today and this day tomorrow, if my sleep will be optimal. If my sleep will be suboptimal, all the good aspects that I've been working with during today, I will basically lose them, because my suboptimal sleep will eliminate them and bring me down to where I started today, bring me down tomorrow. So I will need to start tomorrow from the same place where I started today, not these 2 millimeters higher up. So I will not achieve the cumulative effect. That's the thing. So, and I seen that in my program, the most important things with people's health happened when they started to do what we call sleep hacking. And I also identified the smallest and basically the most important step that is available in my program. This is special breathing meditations that I use now every single day. And I used them. I made it according to Buteyko system, which is basically made by Russian doctor and physiologist Konstantin Buteyko in 1952. It's 70 years ago. And he used it to make his method that helped like tens, hundreds of thousands of people, I believe, in the world and in Russia for many, many decades. And I used it to reverse my own disease, and I used it to help these 2,500 pupils and clients that I had during the last almost 15 years, to change their life and their health, to help them to use this method. And the most important thing here is basically how we recuperation during the sleep on a cellular level. So basically what I'm talking about is a result of later I told you that I changed my own life, and then I started making research, and it resulted also in articles in scientific magazines, medical, and this is a picture of my protocol from Elsevier Medical Journal. And what I wanted to show you, that basically the human environment can optimize cellular environment. How? And this is energy coefficient. Energy coefficient is a difference between energy intake and energy distribution. So if you divide energy intake to energy distribution, basically, and if it's about 0.5, then you are the half of the energy you are missing from what you got daily from breathing and nutrition and some other things like the sun and everything. So you lost half. But if it's 0.95, for example, so you lose only 0.05. So all the energy that you get, you basically use it for mental resilience, for your physical resilience, and for immune resilience. And a part of achieving a coefficient closer to 1 is actually the sleep. That's basically the sleep. So we've been able to connect the dots in this way, and from human environment, because we can do all of those things. We can increase energy intake efficiency through nutrition and breathing, and we can increase energy distribution efficiency through mental training, for physical training, and for understanding how immunity works, how mental perception of what is happening, of stressors that are vectors of stress in our environment, their perception will change the balance between sympathetic and parasympathetic system, which is physical and immune, which will change energy distribution efficiency. So that's a very interesting thing. And how do we use it? So the most simple step to take is to change your efficiency of your sleep, because I told you why. So how do we do that? Sleeping meditations. I made sleeping breathing meditations, and this is an evening breathing meditation. When you do this meditation, 15 to 20 minutes, you will improve the quality of your sleep seriously. And if you do it every single day, you will see a very big difference. Morning meditation, also breathing meditation, is made in a way that when you're doing just right after you wake up, it will increase your resilience. It will will invigorate you basically before you start your day. And if you do it every single day, you will see serious changes. Serious difference. So basically, if you do both meditations, and that's what I want you to try, and I give you, and it's free, totally free. I made together with my team an app that is our own app. It's called Ship app, and this is it's called Ship to .life. If you go there, and this is basically an app that is that you can use on all devices. Basically, you can see here, if you write Ship to Life in your browser, on your telephone, on your computer, or on your iPad, you will be able to get those meditations free. So the one thing you have to do is to go in and register. Not start the course, but register. If you just register, you will have a free version where you will be able to access the free meditations. There's actually 3 meditations. There's also a walking meditation, but it requires it's a little bit it's harder to do. It requires some knowledge, but there's 2 things in the app that are free, and those meditations I gave it every people in the world for free, because I believe that those 2 meditations, they can change your life. Seriously, I really believe that. Okay, so please use it. And there's also, for free, you can use the measurements, and I want to show you what our program, what change it helped people to achieve in their health, because all the progress is measurable in health. And the first thing I will show you, let me show you that one first. So basically what you can see a screenshot from our app, and what you can see here, there's a lady that basically wanted to invest in her life, in her health. And she started in December 2019, as you can see here. And this is a picture of long-term change, right? And you can see the first 2 weeks, this is what you see. The blue one is called control pause. That's the measurement of the degree of oxygenation of your body cells. The blue one, and it's measured by breath holding test. I will tell you how to do that in the next session. So basically, you can see that's the results of, that's a weekly averages. Basically, she was doing it every single day. The evening measurements and morning measurements. You can see the evening measurements, that's the black ones. And you can see the black, during the night, her measurements, they were lower, always lower, until a half a year, they were lower. But then, basically longer than that. You can see, basically a whole year, they were lower. Or 2 years, basically, here. And then all of a sudden, she reached the plateau of, remember how we call it? Plateau of hidden potential. Here. But, she's getting better and better and better and better. But a big change happens after 2 years, and she skyrockets in her control pause. And here, you have morning control pause is higher than evening. You can see that. That's where she reached the plateau. So that's a long-term success, but you can see first week it went down, then it went down, then it went the same, then all of a sudden it went a little bit up, then it went down, a little bit up and down, down, a little bit up, then all of a sudden, wow, gets up and down again, and then gets up again. So basically that's what's happening with the process. And this is a control pause, what we call a control pause. You can measure many different things here, but and here is the pulse. Oh, excuse me, this is a Russian version. Let me show you the pulse. This is an English version. So you see, from the start, the evening pulse, it's a green one, it's higher. Excuse me, the yellow, it's the morning pulse, it's very often higher than the evening pulse, and it has to be different. And here you can see right now the evening pulse is higher, so the morning pulse is lower. So it means that you are restitution works during the night. Okay, and this is a fantastic thing that's basically happening. So if you look at all the graphs, you can see here this control pause graph, it changed. So now the blue is higher than the black, and the yellow, which is morning pulse, is lower than evening pulse. So morning control pause is now higher than evening control pause, which shows oxygenation, the effectiveness of oxygenation of body cells. And that's what we're training by breathing. We're changing our automatic breathing patterns. And you see the pulse is lower. So it's those two things connected. Wow. And you see basically those things happened around the same time here. And that's her assessed energy. So basically how perceived energy. She's measuring it in the evening. So now it's very, very stable. You can see the green ones. And that's weekly averages. That's a maximum pause. That's an absolute breath holding test. She started with 25 or 23, and now it's around 110. And that's November 2023. That's basically now. And not for everybody it requires. For some people it starts very, very fast. Change is very, very fast, as you see for this guy. For this person, and he has a brain tumor basically, so he's healing. You can see he started February, and what is here, you can see control pause, February, March, he's already reached normal level. So normal level of normal health is about 60. So it took him just 1 month. And people that have serious problems, they used to train much more effective. Okay, so you can see already after 2 weeks, 2 months, his level is 120, which is second level of super health, according to Buteco, and he's able to maintain this. And his glucose levels changed from 5.5, again, that's weekly averages, to now around 4. And this is stable. His pulse, morning pulse, felt from 80 down to around 65, 60. Okay, so those kind of things, why am I showing to you? I'm basically showing to you because I'm telling you, if you do just single thing every single day, which is doing the evening meditation and morning meditation, if you go to this address and you open these app and you go and register there, it's totally free. It's an opportunity for you to start composing these puzzle of health and life step by step with a very, very small but daily habit that will make a big difference. So, thank you very much for joining this webinar. I'm looking forward to inspiring you more next week. Remember, you are welcome to ask questions and tell me what changes you see when you're doing those morning and evening meditation. Do not start doing day meditation because it's more challenging. It requires special knowledge. Okay? You can do it in a wrong way. But please experience this. Ask questions on the social media, and I will look forward to inspire you further. Thank you very much for joining.